guys and girls? Jokester here, bringing you another episode of FTB Unstable. We are hanging up by our sheep because it's working wonderfully. The grass is staying there. The sheep are all sheared. If we look in our system for wool, we have tons and tons of wool now. So very happy with that. A couple other things I want to show you. Next thing is this guy here. We have 64... let's see, 25.6 billion RF. 25.6 billion. Can you imagine that? That is our huge battery pack that is giving us 25 million. I also put this guy on here just so that, and I believe it's in, let's see, I believe it's in, this guy is feeding in. This guy is also feeding in, because if you remember, this only does 40,000 RF. This does 40,000 RF, and I put a, well, if I break in here, let's get in here. I put in a higher level, get up here. I put in a higher level, the advanced induction provider. And so if we look at providers, this advanced one does 204. So we've got 30,000 RF coming in from this. 40,000 coming in from that. That's 70,000. Our solar panel's creating about 80, so I'm losing about 10. I'm okay with that. It's not that big a deal. But what this allows us to do then, having both of these, is almost maximize the amount that goes in. And so, yeah, I'm just so happy with this. 25 million. And remember, I can add more coils, or those guys, not the provider ones, but the regular cells. I can add more cells, or even go up in tiers and add even more. Let's see. The other thing is we've talked about how, I replaced this glass here finally. We talked about how I've updated the refined storage. It is not in the standard unstable. I had to update the refined storage, and which then begat updating forge, which is not an easy thing in an FTB pack. And so every time I start it up, I have to manually pick the newer updated forge. And the way I did that, in case you were wondering, is I downloaded the forge installer. I ran the installer and pointed it to the FTB install directory, and then it installed it in a non-FTB standard. So it installs it in its standard, which is different naming convention than the FTB naming convention, and so that installs it. I have to pick that profile every time I launch Minecraft when I play this world. And then, of course, that also made me update JEI. So I've got the newest version of Refined Storage, and there's some really neat stuff with it, as I showed last episode. But one of the other cool things is we can now automate the solderer in a much better way. If you've checked out my channel, you'll see one. I think it was the second video I did. The very second video, even before I started my Let's Play, was how to automate the solderer. And that was with a crafter and a chest and conduit pipes feeding into certain, the sides of it and the top, in order to feed it into the right slot. But let me show you something cool. If I go to iron here, and I take just a piece of iron, and I go into the solder, if I shift click, remember it used to go up here. Well, now watch what happens. It goes into the middle. And so that's a really cool thing, because there's some other things that we want to do. Now, let me check out, do I have any crafters? I do. This is a refined storage one. Yep. So if I were to put this crafter, then I'm going to have to rotate this. And the other thing is, with the texture pack, now we can see easily which way it's facing. So we need to have it face into the crafter, of course. And then now, if I were to, let's say we pick iron and we want a printed. I've already set this up ahead of time, so I have a few printed processors. Of course, we just made that one, so that's pretty easy. Oh, and I was hoping that I would be able to go in here and say, give me the recipe for the printed. And there's nothing. I can't actually do that yet. So I have to use this guy. No problem. Just put that in there, put that in there, and we create us a pattern. Now let's go put that in there. Which one? This one's the pattern. All right. Now, if we look at the, what am I looking for? Printed. If I Control Shift click that, it says it's going to use iron, craft this guy. Cool. We go check it out. It created it. Now we still got to get the items out of there. And for that, we know we use an importer. So let's grab an importer. And I should be able to, because it's right, yeah, I've got a cable right there. So I'm going to throw that guy, see if I can get that right there. And then, yeah, hopefully I can see this. Let's rotate this up till, there we go. Now, did that, I can't remember if I actually had pulled that out or not, but let's order a new one. And so let's just see, printed. Oops, I'm used to the old version where you just hit escape there. Start, got to hit the start. Good, good, sucks it out. Excellent. We should see a new one in here. And 4, excellent. And 5 that we made manually. So I've already created these guys. Let's do this. And we'll need some silicon, which I have to automate that production first, but I have a ton of it. So I'm probably never going to be able to use 1.6 thousand or, 1.6 thousand or 1600 of these guys in my play ever. So I don't really need to, is what I'm trying to say. And then we'll need a diamond. Let's grab one of those and let's create patterns for all of these. So that goes there, that goes there, and create a pattern. And another pattern. And lastly, shift click to put that down, shift click and put that down. And there we go. Let's go back here and we'll put these guys in and we should be able to now call up the recipe for all 3 of these. So create me, I don't know, let's try 3 of them. Go. Good, 1, 2, 3, good, multiple ones work. Let's do that again. I kind of wish that would leave the last thing I searched here, just like JEI does, but it's refined storage is just so pleasant to use. I'm really, really enjoying it. It's, obviously based off of AE1, he makes no bones about it, and I love it. There's some things in AE2 that I would like to be supported in here, but he's working his way through all the requests. Most of the things that I've put in have all got implemented. Really happy about that. There's the one thing I don't like is the channels in AE2, and that's just obnoxious to have to do the channels. But all right, so I'm glad he has chosen not to do channels. Okay, so now we're going to need, let's see, let's get rid of those. I'm going to need each one of these. I think how I want to do this here. Let's see. Yeah, let's do that, and one of these, and then we're going to need redstone. That's the other thing I needed, and that. Okay. So the first one we'll always need one of those, and then we're going to need that, and then we're going to start out with the iron, and that produces, let's see, processors. I do have some of those. Good, good, good. We'll need one of those, and one of those. That produces this, the iron, so it produces this. Let's grab one of those, and then we'll replace this with gold. Produces one of these. And then lastly, we're going to need diamonds to produce one of these. Diamond. Excellent. Excellent. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because we have for a long time, I want to put those in order just because, and actually I would like these two switched. There we go. No, I had it the right way. What am I thinking? No. I didn't have it the right way. It just wasn't switching. There we go. That's the right order I like. Let's call it OCD. Okay, let's try out the basic processors instead of the printed processors. And so let's say we order up, what won't have we a lot of? What don't we have a lot of? So let's order 10 of those guys. Good, good. Start. Let's watch the crafting. I accidentally rotated this guy, but it still works. There we go. Excellent. This guy should be cranking along. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Raul. Raul's the developer of Refined Processing, or Refined Storage, I mean. So thank you so much for making this leagues better. Oh my gosh, this is heaven. This is heaven, and it's one of the reasons why I haven't automated this in the past. It's just been, yeah, I like it. That is so neat. That is so neat. I just didn't want to dedicate a whole big area to having conduits all over it and feeding in from multiple sides, and it just really is a nicety. The reason I want to do this is because I have this guy loaded up with some 16K storage, and these are pretty much just sitting empty, ready for the future. And I can take this up one level if I wanted to and add 2 more here. I can widen this out either side. I have a whole bunch of room. I could add a whole nother section here for more disks and add a lot more room if I wanted to. Good, and we are completely done. So let's check our processors. So good, that got us more. So I can add a lot more space if I need to, because I have all of this stuff that is effectively 2 different networks. I have the network coming in over here off the Ender IO conduits and feeding in here. Now, I love this ability. I love the ability to just grab these at will, and I don't have to have a crafting recipe and make sure that I make some out of here. And same thing for the blocks of redstone. Same thing with blocks of iron. All of these are blocks of gold, nuggets, and stuff. They're just always readily available. This stuff I don't care so much about. It can just go into the refined storage. But I haven't decided yet. When I import all this into my refined storage, I'm going to need a lot of space, which is why the auto crafting of those cells. And then the next step will be the patterns for creating the disks. Okay, so let's do that. So let's look up refined storage. And so the first thing we're going to need is these 1K guys. And so now I have to make sure everything in here is set up ahead of time. Redstone, we're fine. Glass, I have a recipe and it does work. And then everything should be good. Okay, yep, should be good. So let's create patterns out of these guys. I accidentally put a D in there. There we go. So let's start with the first here. Create a pattern for that. Then we will start with the 4K, which will need 4 of those. Notice how I don't actually have to have them in my inventory for this grid to work. That's another new nicety that he's added in one of the 1.0s. Really like that. I don't want to have to make all of these first and just to create a pattern. So I love it. And then 16K. And then 64K. And then, of course, we need it to be the disk, which is, there it is. That's what I was looking for, 64K storage housing. And it's this one down here. So, and I'm out of patterns. Did I ever fix my pattern? I did not. Ig. You know what? I'm just going to craft a new one, or create a new one. So let's go pattern. That, create that. And no, I gotta create one first. Pattern. Oh, you know what? I can just steal some from here. That's what I'll do for right now. Or I'll steal one. Steal that one. That is a blank one. Good. Let's put that guy in. Crafter. I need a crafter. Where do I want to put it? This is quartz, basic capacitor. Yeah, I need the quartz. I might actually have to recreate. Double layer vibrant. There's my pattern. Take that one out, which is invalid. Put my new one back in, and I'm going to fix this guy. So let's see. In here, I'm going to need quartz, quartz enriched iron. Guess that's it. Yeah. There's that. This is the broken one. I'll recreate that. And we will put that back in. That one. Alrighty. And then in the meantime, I'm going to need to expand this because these are all full. So I do have one crafter left. And we're just going to throw this down for right now. And I'll off camera, I'll work on beefing this up. And so adding more capacity to this. So in the meantime, I'm just going to put that guy right there. And then I'll be able to load this guy up. And I don't have an extra one because we never created it. Let's see here. This is a blank one. So we will be able to put well, not blank, but we'll be able to put it in there. And then we need 64K. It's this guy right here. I want this one. There we go. Just let me make sure I did that right. Yes. And that should be the end. So let's see if we can ask for that. 64K, or there's the basic one. So I want to create one of these. Let's see if we have everything. We are missing a storage housing. Aha! That's why we tested out first. So our storage housing, I can't do that. I wish I could do that. Like, cascade. Clicking on that cascades down. Where's my storage housing? There's that. And of course we'll need our last, I did my pattern. Let's craft, 64 of those guys. Just need a few. Yay, nay. Gotta do glass. I'm always short on glass. I need to set up some level emitters. In the AE parlance, level emitters. In here, oh gosh, while that's working, let's go out here and look real quick. It's this guy right here. It is the detector. So I need to set up detector on there to say keep me a certain amount of glass in my base at all times. A bit of lag there. Okay. So we're working. Pattern. Got some. It's working. Let's put this in here. Excellent. All right, now I got a pattern. And we'll put that in there. Brilliant. Now, gosh, that is totally laggy. It's sometimes when you teleport around, it takes a while to stabilize, or sometimes it doesn't even stabilize. It's real jerky. I don't know why that is. Might have to log out. But let's check. This guy's almost done. Oh, that's a goofy thing. So we're still missing on 2, 3, 4 maybe. I don't know why that didn't work. So there should be a 1-to-1. 1-to-1 ratio. That's what it should be. Did that get everything I needed? Still need 2 more. Let's go 4. Just in case. And then we can watch that guy finish up. Excellent. There we go. Last thing it needs. Good. Okay. So there. Oh, that's interesting. So that freed up. That lag freed up when this finished, or this guy. Either way. Okay. So let's try our 64K. Let's see if we have everything we need. Storage housing it's missing, but it should be able to craft that. Let's just make sure. Can it actually do it? There's this storage housing. I know it's missing it, but of course we need glass. Of course we need glass. I shouldn't have said it was missing. It should have said it was something to craft. And yeah, I can clearly craft it because we have one now. All right, well, let's try this again. Let's just see what that looks like. It's all part of refining it. Yeah, it still says storage housing. Huh. Is this one of those goofy things where I have to recreate? Let's grab this and let's grab our pattern for the 64K. And let's go in here and look up 64K. and it's this one here. And let's do this, and let's replace this one here, 7381. 7381, yeah. Let's get rid of that. Let's put that one in there, because that's the crafted one. And let's try that. We'll put that back in the system. Yeah, this one's still, by the way, yeah, I just created a new one, 64K disk, 64K disk. So you can clear it out. I think I've showed this to you before by shift right clicking on that, and then you could reuse that. So this should be the new one, I believe. I think if I did that right, I'll have to go back and see. Okay, let's try this now. Make sure nothing. Yep. All right. So 64K. Let's try this. No whammies. Good. Yeah, something with the MBT. Now, I know Raul's wrestling with that. He's got, I think, 3 open issues, all about NBT and Ordict. Using weird versions of it. So I think he's going to. I know he's rewriting the whole autocrafting. And rewriting it from scratch. And he also teased on Twitter that this here, the cascading is all cool. He said there's going to be no more cascading, but there's something cooler coming. So we'll see what that is. I'm excited to see what the next iteration is when he rewrites the underlying stuff and how he represents this. Because I think this is spectacular. This is pretty neat to me. But also, the other thing is I don't have any speed upgrades in there. So let's grab some speed upgrades. Broken pattern. Grumble, grumble, grumble. All right, I tell you what. Let's put the speed upgrade. And you know what? No, let's just steal one from here. Don't have one in there. Steal these guys for right now. We'll put them in here. Speed, 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 and speed. Hopefully that'll speed that up. Now, we still have to wait on this glass, but yeah, see how now all of this goes a little bit faster? And I'm slowly working through all the patterns and trying to fix them. Like I've showed you last time, I still have that one dark steel here, but there's this guy is done. These 2 are done. This one has, I think, yeah, just one left, the nether brick. So I'm working through. It's just, as I need them. I'm creating them as I go. So I'll come back when this guy is finished, and we'll see where we sit. Okay, and it's finished. Woohoo! So let's go grab our 4K disc. Well, 64K disc, I should say. Let's throw that in here. We go from 388 to 452. Awesome. Okay, the other thing I want to do, leave that here for now, is I want to show you what I did. So I ran power over here. I had to bring it over here because this is my mob farm. Underneath here, I connected into the network, brought it over here, and you can see it comes in up here. And I threw in a importer to suck the stuff out, no filter on it. The exporter does have a filter. It says export sand into here. Keeps this guy filled up. This is obviously an alloy smelter. I threw in an octatic capacitor. These capacitors, we don't know what they are until you throw them in here. These are obtained from dungeon chests. But I turned this on to redstone mode. So it only runs when it receives a redstone signal. And this guy will glow when it's emitting a redstone signal. So you don't need to wish that you knew what it was or put down redstone. You could actually see this will glow. Very nice feature, Raul. So what I did was I put glass in here and set it at a limit of 100. If we look in our system right now, we have the amount of glass is 100. So let me break this. I'll show you how I set it up real quick. And also I had to bring this over to extend it. Obvious. Okay, so I put that down. It resets it. And I say when there is 100, when there is under that amount of glass, then trigger. And so if I were to remove a piece of glass, by the way, you can hold down shift and middle click and it takes one at a time. And so we'll watch this this way. So remember it does 3 at a time, so that makes sense. So I'm going to grab a few of those. We'll go in here, we watch this fire up, and then once those get imported, it shuts off, and there's no more progress. So that's very simple, and I probably want to keep, maybe 200 of this. Come on, two. How come I can't type? 2. There we go. 100. Okay, so that'll keep me 200 of that, and there you go, automated. I created this dedicated so that it would always, I won't have to worry about, how to get, the settings on this alloy smelter, which is, currently has this glass pattern in it. I don't have to do a pattern or anything. This can still be used for recipes if we ever need more. I can manually request glass if I need to, and all good. Last thing I want to show you is this crafter. The crafter was removed when I removed RF tools and re-added it to try to fix my bug, and so I recreated that. And so I threw in the tome again. I kind of started creating recipes, but ultimately the recipe was, remember, this makes it 64, and so it runs that multiple times. It ignores NBT in this one for whatever reason, so it just fills it up as much as it is in here, the amount of redstone, and then it runs through here with the nether star, and it says double it. And so let me grab a little bit of redstone here, and we'll grab just a whole bunch of these guys, and I can throw it in here, and watch what happens. It just starts cranking, and it creates me a whole bunch of these until I run out of redstone, and either one, right? And then now I leave one in here, leave the tome in here, and now I can just easily grab me a whole bunch more. Very simple, very straightforward. I'm good with that. Before I had the crafter down here with the crafting recipe, and yeah, I've removed that. I don't want to have to deal with it because of the whole MBT thing and have multiple ones. I don't need that. I don't need to craft them on demand. The only thing I would ever need it for is if we look up at an iron, let's say a hoe, right? It has these guys here, this wither iron, and so I can create two of these guys, and then go back here to here. I create this. This has Unbreaking X on it, and so if I were to go over here, gotcha. If I were to go over here, see if I can look it right in there. There we go. You see, I have a diamond Unbreaking X, and over here I have need one. So I put that in there, and now it's going to last a long time. And when this guy comes around, it'll start harvesting that, and it'll get me a whole lot more potatoes because, how many do I have? Yeah, 10,000 isn't quite enough. Just kidding. All right, guys, I'm going to have to wrap up here. It's been nice and long, but we've done some good stuff. We have all kinds of great stuff in store. No, we don't. We're really waiting for a new pack to come out. Now, I just heard today Hermitcraft. There's my medallion. I heard Hermitcraft was just released for 10.2 or 1.10.2. Really gonna have to take a long look at that because I've been waiting for Infinity, FTB Infinity to come out, and that looks really cool. Except there's some really interesting stuff going on with Botania, Psy. They're saying that they aren't going to put those in there. I don't know about Botania, but like Quark, Psy, those for sure. They're not going to put those in there because they're too overpowered. And I was, scratching my head saying, huh? Really? I mean, it's kind of a convenience, but things like Reliquary and the Tome of Alkahestry that we just saw and duplicating big end game on it, that's pretty OP. How about Mechanism? Mechanism is crazy OP in some cases. I mean, having 25 billion RF in that small little block, it's cool and all. I love it. Give me OP to death. But I don't know. We'll see if we want to go with Infinity. I think there's going to be missing some stuff. I'm going to check on Hermitcraft. So we'll determine if what pack we want to go to next. But frankly, I'm tired of updating this pack myself. This has no love anymore, and rightfully so. That's the name of the game with Unstable. So we need to hop somewhere else. I've been playing a little bit of Project Ozone 2. It's a sky map. I've been playing on the frozen side of it. It's 1.7.10 though. I mean, I like going back to that and playing some fun things, but I really kind of enjoy 1.10 more. Just I don't know, just some of the mods and all the cool new stuff with it. It's I don't know, it's fresh and new. 1710 is kind of old, and we played so many packs of it. So anyway, I got to wrap up here, guys. I will talk to you guys later, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!